Yes.
All right, and you said there was a consecutive case?
Yes.
And what's the case number for that one?
21 SR 2206.
Okay, so he's currently in the middle of the sentence for 21 SR 1543, correct?
Yes.
Now, what's the charge on 21 SR 2206?
Violation of family violence order.
Now, have you filed a motion to revoke Mr. Wilson's probation?
Yes.
And what grounds?
The first case that he's actively on probation, he's technically out of compliance with several conditions of that case, and then he obtained new charges on or about November 13th of 2023 that directly violated his special conditions of his probation.
Okay. So in your petition, I see that you've listed his failure to report to probation as directed.
Yes.
All right, how many report dates did he miss?
2.
All right. You've also listed that he is in arrears in his fines and fees.
Yes.
And he's failed to utilize community service work in lieu of those fines.
Yes.
How much is he in arrears on fines?
1 second. He's never made a payment on this case. He's currently in arrears of $1,066.50.
They never made a payment.
No, sir.
Has he ever made an attempt to convert any of those fines into community service work?
I would have to look specifically at the notes, but not to my current knowledge.
And that is an option for probationers who can't afford to pay.
Yes, sir, of course.
So you've also listed that he's failed to provide proof of attending the Family Violence Intervention Program.
Yes.
When was the deadline for that?
The original deadline on this case was July 13th of 2023.
Was there an extended deadline?
There has not been.
Okay. Is there any proof that he's even begun the Family Violence Intervention Program?
No, sir.
Can I object?
Yes, what's your objection?
I object that there was an extension because I never spoke to her.
Okay,
She
you can
was-
cross-examine her about that.
Yeah,
You can cross-examine about that,
Okay.
but as far as an objection goes, on the legal grounds, that is overruled, but you can ask her about it.
okay.
All right. The objection's overruled, you may continue.
Thank you, Judge. All right, and Ms. Matthews, you also, in your petition for revocation, say that he failed to appear at a revocation hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when was that revocation hearing?
On October the 26th of 2023.
And was he provided notice for that hearing?
Yes, we mailed notice to him on September 26th of 2023.
And so this is not the first revocation in this case?
No, sir.
All right, do you recall the grounds for the revocation in the last case?
It was that he had failed to pay the court fines and fees or utilize community service, and that he had failed to provide proof enrolling in the Family Violence Intervention Program as ordered by the deadline of July 13th of 2023.
So this is the second revocation for his failing to pay or do community service, and the second revocation for his failure to complete or even begin the Family Violence Intervention Program.
It's the second one we filed. He did not appear at the first one, so there was no ruling.
Okay. All right, and you've also alleged he has been arrested on new charges.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Ms.
what-
Shepherd, I gotta jump in. I got 3 people out there with your eyes closed. Listen, sleeping in court is disrespectful. If you can't stay awake, you need to step out in the hallway. If I have to call you out specifically, it's not gonna end well for you. Mr. Shepherd, you may continue.
All right, thank you, Judge. All right, so what's the new charges?
The new charges are obstruction and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
And was there also a special condition of his probation that he not possess any firearms?
That is correct.
And it's your belief that he was in possession of a firearm?
Due to the new charges, yes, sir, I believe me to believe that he had a firearm.
So how many days are left on 21 SR 1543?
As of today, he has 112 days remaining.
And then 21 SR 2206, that case hasn't begun, so that's a full 365 left?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Ms. Matthews, do you think he's a good candidate for probation anymore?
Not for misdemeanor probation, no, sir.
Thank you, that's all I have for Ms. Matthews.
All right, Mr. Wilson, you may ask cross-examination questions if you wish. I was just gonna have you keep your seat and just use that microphone. I mean, you're welcome to stand up if you want, but I was gonna have you keep your seat, use the microphone.
All right. Ms. Matthews, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How many times have you spoken to Mr. Wilson?
I'd have to look through the case to see if I've had direct contact with you.
Ms. Matthews, aren't you supposed to be representing the probation officers?
Yes.
So aren't you supposed to be his probation officer?
Yes.
Is it he?
What's-
Sorry, I'm just confused. You're saying he,
I'm
that's
saying
you.
he as in me,
Okay, sorry,
Terms of
just,
me.
I just had a moment.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Please
Okay.
continue.
because, if you're the probation officer, you should be, and you're saying, you're denying things, saying that he didn't do certain things. You've spoken to him before. Am I correct? You dealt with this man before, correct? Mr. Wilson, I'm speaking of myself.
So due to the way
No,
that,
I'm asking you a question.
She's
The question-
answering
She's
the
answering.
question.
Watch,
Okay,
watch. You
hold
said,
on, hold on. The
I'm
way
gonna
this,
rephrase it.
stop. Just listen to me. The witness gets to answer the question. If you don't like the way they're answering it, you can ask it again to get more information, but you can't cut off the witness unless you have a valid objection.
Yes, Your Honor, that's why I'm finna rephrase it.
Okay, well, you've asked her that question and she has the right to answer that question, and then you can rephrase it
Okay.
after that. But you can't cut them off unless you have an
Okay.
objection.
I apologize.
All right, go ahead.
so the way that probation is structured, I work for the probation office, and so I'm qualified to testify on any case that's sentenced in my office.
So, Ms. Matthews, the information technically that you're giving may be in third person, am I correct?
It's based off notes provided into our system by any of my staff members.
So that's notes, that's not saying that these are true, these are allegations, am I correct?
When I read your violation, I read that the defendant is alleged to have violated. I could have said that.
Technically, it was said that he didn't have an extension on something, and I'm saying, when I say he, I mean me. And I was there, and I never spoke to you before, not that of my knowledge, I've never seen you a day in my life as my probation officer. So I'm trying to figure out, how could you say things like he didn't have an extension, or like my interaction with probation, or say I'm not a good qualified person to be on probation when we never dealt with each other. I'm trying to understand that, because you're reading off of a computer.
Because
So
of my professional experience and the job that I've done for many years, due to the violations, you don't have enough time to even complete the court order conditions. So therefore, the order that the court gave you, you don't have enough time to complete that. And then you've got new felony charges. Again, we're misdemeanor probation. We're not felony probation. We don't have the resources that they do in order to assist with felony charges.
So, these are officers on my side. If I spoke to an officer, technically, I would assume they'd say their experience would be in the field. You're telling me your experience is through a computer, and you're trying to sentence a man to something off a computer. That's your experience, the computer. So your experience between you and Mr. Wilson is a computer. Am I correct? Yes or no? Because your experience between Mr. Wilson, me and you, is a computer. You've never
Well, I
spoken
said
to me.
I'd have to check the records to see if you and I have had direct.
You're a
Yeah.
person, you're a human. You know if you've spoken to a person, you're a probation officer. I dealt with this person. Your experience is a computer. You never dealt with this man. Your experience is a computer. You have to check notes. You have to do probation.
Judge, I think she's
officer-
already asked the question. She's already answered the
Excuse
question.
me,
He's
excuse me.
asking.
You both saw
He's
that.
got an objection, Mr. Wilson.
I know, but he didn't even say object.
it's asked
He
for.
did. He says objection. Just let me run my courtroom, Mr. Wilson. Don't
Okay.
argue with me.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
I've been doing this for a couple of decades
Thank you.
now. I've been on the bench more than one day, so I know how to run a courtroom. Okay, so you're gonna do it the way I want you to do it.
Yes,
You
sir.
understand
Yes,
that?
Your Honor.
Don't argue with me.
Yes, Your Honor.
He had a valid objection. I said it was valid. Move on to your next
Okay,
question.
my
And
next
don't
question.
argue with me about whether or not he's making a valid objection.
Yes, Your Honor. My next question. Isn't the two charges you're bringing up, they're consecutive, right, with probation? They're not concurrent?
The charges that you're already sentenced on?
The probation, they're two different cases, they're consecutive, correct?
That's correct.
So if you violate him, when you have to violate for one because the other one's not active yet, he's
So
in the current probation. Without of knowledge, you can't violate the other without it being active, because he's in one.
I can because you were sentenced on this case prior to the new charges occurring. The second case that's not currently active has no technical violations. There's no allegations that you're out of compliance with the conditions of the case other than you received new charges. And due to you already being sentenced, part of that case is you can't get new charges. And so you can violate the
May I
second.
ask, I'm
Hold on, don't
sentenced.
cut her off.
All right.
You gonna let her finish, then you can rephrase your question.
What do you mean
No,
sentence?
let her finish her sentence.
So due to it being a consecutive case, being sentenced prior, the new charges occurring after the sentencing, the law does allow that case to be revoked as well.
So accusations can violate his probation?
Well, we're here on accusations. It's up to providing the information to the court today to prove whether you're actually in violation or not.
All right, what I'm asking Ms. Matthews is the verification for the second charge that's not active would be violated because Mr. Wilson catching a new charge that he's accused of, right? I'm
That
saying
is
that.
the allegations on the second case, yes.
So allegations are both, they're both allegations, because he hasn't got sentenced for the possession of firearm at all.
Correct, they're allegations.
So that will violate his probation,
Yes,
the allegations.
that's correct.
So any allegations, I'm just done.
Part of your probation is you cannot receive new charges while on probation.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Director Matthews?
No, Your Honor. I'm trying to figure out, all right, never mind.
Okay, well, I just want to know if you have any more questions, you can ask.
I've never spoken to her, so it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you've asked several questions so far. I'm just asking you, do you have any more questions?
It's just, I never
Yes or
thought
no?
you could violate. I know she's telling me new things, because I didn't think you could violate, so she's.
I'm not having this discussion with you. I'm asking you
no,
if you have
no,
any questions for her.
Your Honor, no.
Okay, because again, only one of us is going to run this hearing, and it's not going to be you. Okay? Do you hear me?
No, I'm not running anything.
Well, then answer my questions that I'm asking,
I said
not
no,
the
sir.
question you wish I had asked.
No, I said no, sir. I said she's giving me new information I didn't know.
Great. Okay. Mr. Shepherd, any redirect?
No, sir, Judge, none from the state.
All right. Do you have another witness you wish to call?
Judge, I wish that I did. Unfortunately, the new charges that Mr. Wilson received were taken out by Deputy McIntyre. But for a piece of garbage murdering him, he would be here to testify today. So we have his body cam video from the interactions that he had with Mr. Wilson on November 13th of 2023. We'd be asking to tender those into evidence today under the hearsay exception under 24-804A4, is that the witness is unable to be present to testify because of his death.
Okay, and fill out a little bit more detail. I'm looking at 804. Give me just a little bit more detail on what exactly it is you're wanting to play and what you are proffering it will show to the court.
Judge, it's two body cam videos of basically the same incident. The first body cam video is where Sergeant McIntyre comes to the apartment where Mr. Wilson is present. Mr. Wilson is, Sergeant McIntyre knocks on the door kind of comes ajar, it wasn't fully closed. There was a female standing in there. Sergeant McIntyre asked the female, is there anybody else present? She's kind of looking around nervously. As he opens the door further, Mr. Wilson is standing behind the door. Sergeant McIntyre then confirms Mr. Wilson's identity. He begins to check to see if he has any active warrants. It comes back, he does have an active warrant, and then Mr. Wilson takes off running across the parking lot of Spalding Heights. The second video would be where Deputy McIntyre, after Mr. Wilson is arrested, Deputy McIntyre goes back to the same apartment, looks behind the door where Mr. Wilson was hiding, and under a pair of blue jeans, I believe, there's a .38 caliber revolver that was in Mr. Wilson's possession when Sergeant McIntyre knocked on the door. That's directly related to the two new charges of his obstruction and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. There is no other, Sergeant McIntyre was alone when he first encountered Mr. Wilson. There was no other deputies present that could testify as to the interactions there. That body cam video is the evidence of that interaction. Again, it would make me nothing but happy to have Sergeant McIntyre on the stand right now, but unfortunately that's just not possible and will never be possible given the circumstances.
All right. Mr. Wilson, do you want to say anything to me about that before I make a decision about that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, no, R.P. McIntyre, he's a good guy. Please show the video. I would like you to show the video as evidence, please. Because Your Honor, because when you show the video, you'll see me take a pack of cigarettes out, 4 different cards, empty myself and show him that I'm not got nothing on me. And then I run when he says VOP. I do run.
Okay.
So please show it.
All right. So this was a very tricky legal question that is no longer a tricky legal question as the defendant has consented to it being tendered and admitted And Mr. Shepherd, I don't have that you specifically tendered it, I may just not have written that down.
I will tender this as State's Exhibit 1.
Okay, so State's Exhibit 1 is tendered and admitted without objection. So,
This is about a 40-minute video, but the interaction with Mr. Wilson is the first 7 minutes.
okay.
And then the third video, just for brevity's sake.
Pause it really quick.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, I'm required to notify you that this video is 40 minutes long, but the state says that the only part that matters is the first 7 minutes. So they're saying they're playing the first 7 minutes. I'm required to tell you that you have the right to make us sit through all 40 minutes if you think that is important, or if there are pieces in those next parts that you think are important.
All right.
So,
Your Honor, may I say this? Remind you, after them 7 minutes, I get arrested, then he goes back somewhere. So that means 9/10 of the law is possession. You didn't find a gun on me. That's why I want you to play it.
okay, well, let's watch it and
Yeah,
cross the
go ahead,
bridges.
Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
Push the door. A lot of. BOP.
Yeah, that's the instruction for running. Located.
All right, so just for record purposes, we watched the first 7 minutes, and now just put on the record what time you're fast forwarding it to. So
This
if
is,
we ever have to go back, we can do
yeah,
that.
so this is the third video. I'm fast forwarding to the 7
Now,
minute.
I would like to watch that whole thing because the officer came to bring my phone to her.
Of the
He
third
did,
video?
yeah.
No, the video was just showing, shows him bringing my phone to my girl.
All right, hold on. But how many minutes is that video?
This one is 10, I believe.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, just start it.
And I'm in jail at this moment.
Let me ask you a question. Is he hitting you? I know he is. I know he is. You can't let him get away
Every
with
time
that
I
shit.
say no, he chokes.
I know. I'm going to 10-15 see him from the heights. Okay? That means if he comes in the heights, he's spotting the heights, he goes to jail. He knows what it means. I'm going to 10-15 see him from the heights. And,
Anything that's gonna stop him.
well, here's the thing. Anytime he's caught up here, he's going to run, he's going to catch another one, and eventually he's going to go back to prison. And that's going to stop him.
But why is he like this?
He's always been like this.
Why?
He's always been like this. That man spent more time in prison than he did in prison than out.
I've done everything. Like I
know
made sure
that,
he
but
had a
it's not
birthday
you.
this
It's not
year.
you. It's not you. That man, listen, he did me a solid. Okay, that's the only reason I treat him like a gentleman. Back when I was working in the jail, had a kid from the high school, free safety, got caught up with some bullshit, got locked up. I said, take care of him. He made sure nobody got at him. He made sure the kid had to spend the weekend in the jail. Spent the weekend in jail, and came and got left. They talked football. He kept the kids. They would have jumped him. They would have got him. So he does have good in him.
He does.
He does, but he can't control it.
Can he get help mentally in jail though?
He's not going to
Something's
get
wrong
out.
with him in his head, I'm telling you.
You know what the problem is? He's been in prison more than he's been out. His whole head is the prison mentality. That's all he understands, the prison life. He's been in prison longer.
All he does, like he's never really put his hands on me. It's just lately, it's been, oh, you're gonna tell me no? Ugh,
Yeah, because
and I'm just like, but I love him.
That's what works. That's what works. Okay. How long till you go back up to your apartment?
I gotta wait for my son to get off.
What time?
Probably in about 10 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna be waiting up there at your apartment because I left the guy up there only because your door's open.
Yeah, my door's always open.
Okay,
Now, like,
start
lock
locking it.
now.
Now start locking it. I'm gonna 10-15 see him, and he's probably gonna go back to prison because I know what's in the back bedroom.
So when does he think you gotta get out anytime soon?
No, especially when I find a gun, and I know where the gun is.
He told you.
No, I know where the gun is.
Do you?
I do.
Because I looked.
Yeah.
I did.
Hey, big guy. We're gonna go look together, okay? 10 minutes, you gonna be up there?
Yeah, we can say 10 minutes. My son's on the bus from Jackson.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Yeah. Like I said, if you guys wanted to go look without me, I don't care. Like I said,
I'll have my body camera on. Hey, how you doing?
I don't have anything to hide.
I'm 10-4. What's up, girl?
Good job, Sharon.
You know who that is? That's the legendary Captain Peavy.
Oh.
He a legend.
All
Smile.
right, so I guess he just wants to go there and look for the gun.
Okay, we're gonna go back. No, can she? If she knows where it is, tell her to come.
I don't think she doesn't know where it is.
Okay.
She's the one that, she's my support. That's my. I'm not from
She doesn't
Georgia.
need to come.
Somebody had did it. We don't know who did it.
I got you. We'll find out. Okay? Go do your homework. Hey, girl. Go do your homework.
I don't got no homework.
Go make some homework up. Hey, you. Hey, I like the popo too. Okay. The popo.
The popo, yeah. Good job sharing, you guys. Well, now I can lock my door.
Yeah. Lock your door, okay? We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back up there, okay?
I'm just waiting for some serious.
Anything's gonna be on body camera.
Yeah, I'm not.
I got you.
I know
It
you
has
guys
nothing
really
to do
honored
with you.
it. It's just frustrating.
It is. I'm gonna go back up there. She gave me permission on body camera. Just go in the house and get it.
Don't that thing used to be cages?
Today. Yeah.
Don't no things
You know who
used to
that
be
is?
cages?
That's the Captain Peavy. There you go. Oh, look at that is.
You can't tell me who called?
No, I'm keeping you out of that. That way you're never in a position. Just say hello to you. Am I allowed to say hello to you?
Yeah, you're
I say hello to you every time I
He
walk up
get
here.
him and he hit him.
Hey, oh, look at that.
He hit him.
Don't hit nobody. I like the hair too. Get over here, you. You guys behave. You listen to mommy? You better. Especially you got your hair done that nice. You look pretty. Look at that. Can I do my hair like that? You'll still look prettier than me though. Hey, she get 10 more minutes. She gave me permission to go in the house and get the gun. It's on body camera. I'm just gonna. I'm not using it against her. Yeah. If I find out if you bought it, or at least get rid of it. Dude.
Is it right there?
It was right here.
Dispatch, 337 to 633.
It was right. He was standing right there, and it's right there.
637.
Oh, wow.
Therefore, it's 25 for James Long at 140 Palm Street, across from Seaman Road, reference to 1028 Bay.
He's a gang member, too.
I forget who he hangs out with. Stout busted him before.
That's what I'm saying. They charged him on a gang act before. For the same reason. They sent for him by convicted felons. They got him with a stolen High Point.
Yeah, that's what he got him with. It was right in front of 17 building. 208 dispatch.
Yeah, that's all that the state has evidence-wise in this case. We'll rest.
Mr. Wilson, there's like 2 or 3 minutes left on this video. Do you want to keep going, or are you okay with finishing this? Okay. All right, then, Mr. Shepard, with the defendant's permission, you may shut that off.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. There's no cross because the video was admitted under 804.
A4.
8041.
I believe it's A4.
A4. Yes, A4, I have it. So Alpha 4, and played and consented to by the defendant. Okay, Mr. Wilson, the state has rested. So what that means is they're not going to present any more evidence on your case. If you wish to testify at this moment, you can. I'll have you remain seated. You're already under oath, and I'll have you testify to whatever you want. You're under no obligation to testify, and if you choose not to testify, I will not allow it to be held against you, and I certainly wouldn't do so. I'll also need to add that if you do choose to testify, Mr. Shepard will have the right to cross-examine you just like any other witness, and you will be required to answer his questions as long as they are proper under the rules of evidence.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
understand those options?
Yes, sir.
Do you wish to testify or remain silent?
I testify.
Okay. Oh, I also need to remind you that because you have a felony case pending upstairs on the events of this case, which is 23R392, at the end of this hearing, after you testified, Mr. Shepard will very likely pull a transcript of this hearing and send it upstairs to the DA's office to be used against you in the case upstairs. Do you understand that?
It was odd you told me at the end, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
It was odd that you told me at the end of doing all this, that you told me that.
I just told you.
I know, after the whole procedure. That's why I said it was odd, Your Honor.
I do not understand the words that are coming out
The
of your
word
mouth.
odd is like weird. Like you waited to the end of the end of the procedure after all this, and then you say, hey, they could use that against you on your felony case.
Yes, because I thought this was,
Instead of telling me at the beginning.
Well, I'm not
Hey.
perfect, Mr. Wilson. I forgot, and I'm telling you now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you know now. Make your call. What do you want to do?
I'll testify.
I just tell you, I don't really appreciate the insinuation that I've done something underhanded or sneaky. I mean, I don't know why you would bring that up, other than you're
That's
trying
not
to
my
accuse
word,
me
Your
of
Honor, it's
doing
odd.
something.
No, it's
Yeah, like odd, like
That
I
means
snuck
I-
it up on you or something.
I don't have the knowledge.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna engage. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. I'm gonna pull it back. Okay, you do whatever you wanna do next, and then I'll do what I need to do next. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying he's supposed to, you asked me that I want to testify. I said, I will, no problem.
And I said, go ahead.
What am I testifying to? What's the question?
Whatever you wanna talk about. It's your testimony.
What?
He's
Is it
not
not-
gonna ask you questions until you're
What
finished.
isn't possession nonsense to the law?
Hey, you're talking to me.
Am I
Parties
talking?
don't talk to each other in this courtroom.
All right, well, Your Honor, isn't possession nonsense of the law?
I'm not answering your questions. This is your opportunity to testify about the facts of this matter, which will then be placed into a transcript and used against you later if you testified incriminating things. So
Okay.
you either have the right to testify or not. But
Well-
you don't get to cross-examine me like I'm a witness.
I was asking questions.
Don't ask me questions.
Okay.
Testify.
Well, testify. I didn't get caught with no gun. You see me running. I don't have no gun on me. I empty my pockets. I have nothing. There's no gun. If you worry about why I'm behind the door, it says itself. You just spooked me. The door pushed. He said the door came open. No, you pushed the door. We watched you push the door open. And she didn't give you permission to search the house. She said, I will be back in 10 minutes. I have no problem with you going in there. That's for her there. You're supposed to wait in 10 minutes for her to get back. It wasn't saying to walk yourself in the house. That's two. And you didn't find no gun on me. You see me break down, search down in front of you. Everything here, there's nothing. So how could you say that's my gun? What makes you say that's my gun? It has to be mine. It's called possession. If I don't have possession of it, that don't make no sense to really be possession. How do I have a gang charge because I'm black and I stay in Spalding Heights and it's called a gang neighborhood? It's called racial profiling. To be a gang, it has to be more than one person. 16, 15, 4, 16, 15, 3. Have to drug gang rank or doing a criminal activity. So I'm trying to figure this out. How is he a gang member with nobody? How is he a gang member with nobody? Where's the gang at? He's a gang member by himself because he stays in Spalding Heights. He stays in a gang neighborhood, and now he's a gang member. Then you're not even saying he's a blood. He's something else that doesn't even exist in Griffin. So I'm trying to figure these things out, Your Honor. I'm just being truthful. You know what I'm saying? It's called racial profiling because I'm a black man and you assume I have a gun or he's a gang member. What makes me a gang member? I have no gang activity in Spalding 401 Justice Boulevard at all. You don't see me with gang. I'm not even from Griffin. It says I'm from Cali and I'm from New York. I'm trying to figure this out. What gang I'm in? Where's the gang members at? I'm trying to figure out. I get caught with a gun previously on the other case with the 9 he's talking about, the High Point, with 2 females. So aren't they gang members too? If I sit with this man and this woman in the car and y'all call me a gang member, everybody has to be a gang member. And that's not illegal, because if you're in a fraternity, if he's in a clique, and he's in a club, a bike club, and he's in a crew, there's nothing, the problem is not that you're in an organization. The problem is what? If you're doing criminal activity. If you're doing criminal activity, is a problem, especially if you're trying to gain rank or the clout, whatever word you want to use in the organization. This is according to y'all law. So I'm trying to figure these things out. Then 9/10 of law is possession. I have to be possessed when you just watch me bust down, pull everything out of my pocket, show my shirt, and there's no gun. And then he went back, I'm arrested. Remember, that's a 40-minute long thing. I'm arrested now. I'm in Spalding County Jail at this time. I'm in 401 Justice Boulevard. This man walks back and say, I know where the gun's at. That's amazing. You know where the gun's at? When she don't know where the gun's at, I know where the gun's at. After 40 minutes, and your body camera's on, bringing her the phone, and you know where the gun's at. But this man's at 401 Justice Boulevard right now, sitting inside the jail. He done ran in everything. He done showed his whole body. You see my six-pack, bro. I'm trying to figure out, you see me bust down. That's the bust down you can do. Show you my credit cards and everything. And you find no gun. So now he's possession of firearm. Where's the possession at? Because it's not on me. I never got charged with something that's all the way over there, and it's mine. And I'm a gang member with no gang. I'm a Crip with red on. In Spalding Heights and stayed there 4 years. This is ridiculous, Your Honor. Just keeping it real. And I wish you use it when we go up to felony, because that's ridiculous. He's a Crip. He's one type of Crip, and he stayed in Spalding Heights for 4 or 5 years. I never heard of that. And I'll be outside. I don't be nowhere. I'm from New York. It sounds from California. There's some things that be ridiculous, bro. And those would be ridiculous things, bro. Because you just watch on your thing that this man has no gun on him. I've never seen this. Now he has a gun 40 minutes later. And your body camera comes on when you see my girl. And that's just to try to get you finesse her. You don't tell her that, oh, the body camera on in the beginning. You tell that during your conversation. Hey, just to let you know your body camera's on, you gave me permission. So you just finessed my girl. You just finessed it in the moment. You didn't say in the beginning that the body camera was on and you're being recorded. You should watch what you say. No, you waited after a certain moment of time, and that's the odd thing, Your Honor. Oh, the body camera's on, and she gave us permission. She didn't give you permission. That's not her words. She didn't say go search my house. She said, yeah, there's nothing in there. You can. I'll be there in 10 minutes. How long are you going to be there? 10 minutes. I'm waiting for my son, Sincere. So 10 minutes, you're supposed to wait until she got there, because that's illegal search and seizure. I don't know if you planted that gun there. You don't know if you planted that gun there. Now, he's deceased and he's a good guy. You feel what I'm saying? He's a good guy, bro. So I'm not saying him. It could be somebody else, because you with Smith. Smith's not a good guy. See how everybody laugh? Everybody knows Smith. Smith's not a good guy. You feel what I'm saying? Now, dude, yeah, he's a good guy. I give him that. You feel what I'm saying? And that's why you see that, listen to the video, he says, I charged him with obstruction, and he got VOP, he's getting criminal trespassing, he knows not to come out here no more. He didn't say nothing about the gun. But all of a sudden when he pulls up, he knows where this gun's at. That's ridiculous, bro. And I'm in jail. I'm in 401 Justice Boulevard. I just gave him back my phone to go take it to my girl, where he took me out the car. So I'm trying to figure this thing out, and it's accusations, bro. It's accusations. Y'all using this gang, oh, he's a gang member. What gang? Where's the people at? He doesn't call nobody from 401 Justice Boulevard but his girl. Where's the gang members at? Where's the gun that he's possessing? Because if I say you got a pair of shoes on, that's your water bottle, you possess, that's your pen. I see you using that pen. It's in your hand. It gotta be on me. I gotta be showing you had to find the gun on me. And it's accusations. Even, Your Honor, when I say about the probation thing, I never spoke to this lady in my life. The lady I did spoke, she looks like she's Puerto Rican. And me and her talk, I was like, yo, I don't got the money to pay y'all. I can't do probation, pay y'all, and pay to get up here to see you and pay my bills. And then me and my girl, we're not really seeing eye to eye. So yeah, I'll be here, but really I gotta pay for a whole nother spot. Cause we're not seeing eye to eye. That's why I explained to him, I don't stay here. I don't really be here. What my kids be here, so I pop up and we speak sometimes, but I don't really be here. So I'm paying for a whole nother spot. So how I'm gonna pay this probation, pay y'all fees, and I'm not gonna eat then. I'm gonna die somewhere. Like I'm just like y'all. I pay bills. Reality wise, you owe $1,000 what? Then it's and you one probation, y'all pay this consecutive. I never seen this lady, and I had an extension on the little family thing because I didn't have money to pay it. Dude said he wanted $80, Your Honor. You know he told me send $80 on Cash App. I never heard a government dude tell me send him $80 on Cash App. Unless he working to move. I've been in prison, right? So if I send you Cash App money, you working to move, bro. I'm thinking you trying to finesse me. This scams, all types of jury scams and everything on the news. I know you watch Fox 5. So that's why I told the lady, like, why would I send him $80 on Cash App? He not even, why not just give you the money? I'm not gonna send Cash App this man. We're not that close. I'm technically an inmate and you're an officer. You want my Cash App? That don't even make no sense. You want me to Cash App you some money? Do I Cash App my lawyer? I never seen that before. So it confused me, especially with all these scams that are going on, jury scams and all that other things, so it confused me. And the lady said I could get extension. No, I didn't show up for probation. After they said they was gonna lock me up, and I asked for the community service thing. She never gave me the paper. So the lady that's sitting up there speaking, I don't even know her. Why she giving me the stank face? I don't know her. I never spoke to her before, but she's sitting there telling you that I'm doing things that I didn't do this and didn't die and this, and you never been there. I never spoke to you when I walked through the door, and I've been there multiple times. Remember, I got out May 6th. The warrant been win. So how many times I have to go up there twice a week, Your Honor? How many times I've been there to when you put the warrant out? Count them times, because nobody's representing that. Nobody's saying how many times I went up there. From May 6th, May 14th, I got out. So when the warrant was issued. So I go up there twice a week, Your Honor. He's been going. He's been going back to back to back to back to back. I have to go up there twice a week. And I have to pay every time I don't have a car. So I have to pay Uber to go up there. So it costs me like $20 at a time to go up there every time, twice a week, to see a person, to say something to me, and tell me to walk out. That's just being real reality. I don't got money that just grows on trees, bro. I don't sell drugs, bro. I don't know, I work just like you work. I got a 9-to-5, bro. And it's not even a 9-to-5, bro. It's like on commission. It's a halfway pay. So I live life just like you live life. Like you gotta go to work and you gotta feed your kids, you gotta pay bills, you got a light bill, you got a rent bill. I got the same thing. So what's the make the difference between me and you? See, now he just sitting there playing with his shoe, but that's being real. I know you on that side of the table, but that's being real. Because these people got bills and stuff. They got cars to pay for. You got everything, your ticket. You don't look at that part. But you want me to pay you probation every time, and I got to pay $20, $40 a week to come up here to see y'all. And then the lady sitting there saying that she knows things about me. She doesn't even know me. She's sitting there lying. I have to look at my notes. How do I let them look at my notes if I've seen you before? You need a note to see if you've seen me before? You got to look at the computer. You got to check in your phone. Let me check if I seen you on Facebook. That don't even make no sense. Like you ain't got facial recognition in your head. I know I seen you the other day when I went to court and you tried to offer me 500 days and I told you no. And you told me you got a new charge, Mr. Wilson. Remember, I know exactly what you said. I remember you. I didn't need a computer. It's just reality. I rest my case, Your Honor. I got nothing more to say.
All right, cross, Mr. Shepard?
No, sir.
All right. Any other evidence, Mr. Wilson?
No, sir.
All right, the evidence is closed. All right. So the evidence, as I have heard it, is as follows. We have two cases in front of me, 21 SR 2206, which is the consecutive case. And the only two questions on that table is whether or not, by preponderance of the evidence, and I want to say that out loud, that not by proof beyond a reasonable doubt, which would be a trial standard upstairs. I'm being asked to determine whether or not on November 13th of 2023, the defendant violated two Georgia laws: obstruction of an officer, which is a misdemeanor, and felony possession of a firearm by convicted felon, and then a special condition of no firearms or ammunition. And then we have back earlier, we have 21 SR 1543, and in that one I'm being asked to determine whether or not he missed scheduled appointments, failed to pay his fines and fees, or requested waivers or community service work, failed to provide proof of a family violence intervention program, failed to appear at a revocation hearing on October 26th. And then this one also includes the obstruction of a law enforcement officer, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And then the last allegation is that he failed to, that he had firearms and ammunition, which was a violation of his probation. I'm going to state very carefully for the record that, and obviously those of us who are in the courtroom all the time know how to do this, but the testimony of the second witness, which was Mark McIntyre, who was killed in the line of duty on December 29th, was an emotional statement. But I'm going to say for the record that I'm setting that emotion aside and I'm deciding this case based on the facts of the case, which is exactly what I would ask a jury to do if they were sitting in that box. I would tell them that emotions have no place in this decision. It is simply a factual decision based on it, and I wanted to acknowledge that because this is that was a tough moment to set aside, and I'm acknowledging that I have done that. So here's the decision. I've noted on the video, I've noticed that each of the testimony testified to items from Director Matthews as far as the missing the appointments, B, the fines and fees, having never made a payment, C, having not provided that there's family violence intervention program occurring or completed. I can check my own records and confirm they did not appear at the October 26, 2023 hearing. I find that those have all been proven to me by preponderance of the evidence. That leaves me with the two criminal charges, which are pending upstairs as a felony at 23R. No, that's a different felony case altogether. Oh, there's two felony cases upstairs.
Yeah, there's two.
Okay, so 23R392 is a different case. This case is still unindicted. It's 23FAH2083, which is the felony case that my two cases are moving in front of. The video was consented to by the defendant, therefore there was no 804 balancing, and I didn't have to make a 103 balancing test, but I am going to find all the same that the prejudicial value was substantially outweighed by the probative value of this case. That way, if it becomes an issue, I did make that balancing test, which I am required to do. In the video, it shows Deputy McIntyre knock on the door. The door opens of its own volition, which the renter of the house explained was a standard known condition of the door. Deputy McIntyre standing in the doorway talking to the renter. He asks her if anybody else is present. She does not answer. There was a pause, and then when he opens the door, he discovers the defendant hiding behind the door. And I say hiding because it was hiding. The deputy was standing in the doorway asking the lady if there was anyone there, and Mr. Wilson was literally less than 1 foot from the deputy and did not answer until the deputy began to enter the house. At which point the deputy started to arrest Mr. Wilson, took a deep breath, said that, quote, "You scared the shit out of me," and then did not arrest him, showing good judgment. He then talked to him, did a search, lastly ran him, which was his responsibility, and said, turned out that he had a warrant, at which point on the video, Denzel Washington, who is clearly identified as the person who's here, fled on foot, committing the offense of obstruction of an officer. What did I say? Oh, sorry, Denzel Wilson. Sorry. And then Mr. Wilson then was arrested. Deputy McIntyre then obtained permission from the renter to go back to the home with his video camera on, which he did, and we watched it. And the gun was behind the door where Mr. Wilson had been hiding in the previous video. There's several other things in there, but those are irrelevant. So the defendant is a felony that was discussed at length on the video, so that is part of the evidence. And you know, the defendant and the deputy said that he knew him at great length and knew it. And of course, I can also take judicial notice of the records of the Spalding County court system. So, okay, so that's it. I found that the gun was found where the defendant was hiding. That makes him, the obstruction is the running, the firearm conviction is where the gun was in his hiding place, and that he did have possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. The only appropriate response to this, given the fact that there's 2 felonies upstairs, these are serious cases with serious allegations, and I do find for the record that I do have the authority under Georgia law to revoke consecutive sentences when I deem appropriate and when new criminal acts are alleged. So in 21 SR 1543, there's 112 days remaining. I'm revoking the balance. In 21 SR 2206, there's 365 days left. I'm revoking the balance. There's a bond revocation hearing pending upstairs in 23 R 392. That hearing for the state to revoke your bond is set for, it's just been filed. It was filed 2 days ago. So the state upstairs is seeking to revoke your bond. They'll bring you over from the jail whenever that hearing is, and the state will indict or dismiss the other case as they see fit. I'll remind you again that what you have testified to and subject to cross-examination on what is part of the transcript, and you may see this transcript again as I notified you before your testimony began. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 180 days before if you wish to use your habeas rights. If I were to present you with these orders, would you sign them acknowledging the decision that I have made? Yes or no?
Broke my probation.
Will you sign the documents acknowledging the decision that I have made? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to put, please put that he refused to sign it in open court. Piper, he's all yours. You can take it. Mr. Shepard, if you will please place those videos on a thumb drive and provide them to Ms. Leach at your convenience.
Yes.
We'll save the copy of that on our server. Yeah, I figured fast. All right, and if I step off the bench for just a moment, that's going to let them get them out of here. Y'all's hearings go very fast, so don't panic. Y'all's hearings literally go like this. So I'm not.
Take him out.
Take him out of here. Good, thank you. So anyway, don't panic. It's 11:23. I'm very confident we'll get all y'all out of here by lunch. So, all right, that's it. Everybody take a couple minute break. I think I need one too. Y'all are not here for anything else, are you, Mr.?
Judge, there was one, I don't know if Ms. Matthews is gonna need me on it or not. Boyd?
That's my first one I was gonna call.
That's his motion.
Yeah, he filed a motion and I'll sit in on it real quick.
If y'all had anything else, just want to get.
Oh, the other thing, Mr. Hammock, with the amended accusations.
Yes.
Sherry had filed all those.
Okay.
Had he filed all those yesterday?
Okay, Mr. Hammock, as soon as Ms. Jordan comes back in and prints that, well, actually, I can print it for you. Mr. Hammock, come on up. That's very quick. And Mr. Hammock, I'll say the same thing I said yesterday, which is that if you would like to sit down while we're talking, you have, it's perfectly okay if you want to sit down. We're good on that? Okay. All right, Mr. Hammock, you're here because you're on the trial calendar on 23 TK 3284. We had a lot of confusion yesterday because you also have pending upstairs a felony case in trafficking cocaine, 23R688A. And so we're moving forward with this one today. The solicitor's office, you came back today because the solicitor's office filed what's called an amended accusation in your case. What that means is that they took your case from the citation format that you received on the side of the road as a ticket, and they converted it into an accusation format. I am printing that accusation format right now, and it's officially called the amended accusation. And what this is going to do is it's going to let you, all right, step out, please. Green shirt, step out. What that's going to do is I'm officially arraigning you on the new charge, but it's not a new charge at all. It's just a different version of the same charge. Do you understand? Okay. Do you understand all that? All right. Hey, get out of my courtroom. Hey! Done. Go out there and please talk to him. And I want to know who that is. All right, so, Mr. Taylor, there is the amended accusation. If we give that to Mr. Hammock. Mr. Hammock, I've already arraigned you. Again, I'm just required to arraign you upon request of the amended version of the charge, but it is the same charge. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. And again, you have Ms. Clark on the felony case. If you want to hire her on this one, you can, but other than that, we're going to trial. All right, you are free to go. I will see you back here on February 26th at 9 a.m. sharp for your jury trial.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more time, cut all telephones off. Can't say it no easier than that.
And who was that just went out?
Last name Taylor, and John may look out, check the lab.
I got it. Sharp, Taylor.
Cheryl.
Got it. Okay. All right, what was the other one, Mr. Shepherd?
Mr. Boyd, looks like he's filed a pro se motion to terminate his probation.
Oh, that's it. All right, Boyd, where are you? Come on up. All right, raise your right hand for me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I am too. So raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, take your hand down. I see where you have filed a motion to terminate your, looks like maybe a pretrial diversion.
That's correct.
Okay. If I do what you want me to do today, what would I do?
May you please re-ask that question, Your Honor?
Sorry. I was looking for you to say, Judge, what I really want you to do today is this.
Yes. Judge, what I'd like for you to do today is to terminate the rest of my probation. I found a job in a school system. What I was arrested for is against them. They've been working with me and everything to be able to work with the kids as far as technology is concerned. I just like to move forward from this incident. I haven't stepped inside of that facility in almost 43 months due to the pandemic and due to, of course, being backed up. Just trying to press forward.
Okay. I show that we had a revocation hearing on the 11th of January, and we worked out some terms to get your case closed. Was that not successful?
Yes, I paid off everything.
Okay. All right, let me pivot to, oh, this is a revocation hearing as well. These are both. Is that right? Boyd?
Not today.
Okay, so Director Matthews, if you'll tell me what else he needs to do to get his case closed, that'd be great.
Well, he's satisfied the conditions of his case. The way that his case was originally ordered, it's a 12-month non-report, so he could have gone to non-report as soon as he wanted to. There's a no contact order in there, so we've currently placed his case into non-report when he finally made his payment on January 24th.
Okay, so he's not having to report at all?
No, sir.
Okay, and is that, you want more and more step past that?
Yes, because of the no contact, I haven't stepped like placed inside that facility in over 42 months.
That facility being the Airport Road care facility, is that right?
Yes, it's an airport, I can't remember the address, but it's on Airport Road.
There it is, 390 Airport Road. And is this thing keeping you from doing something?
It's keeping me from the job going, because like inside the school system, especially different counties, they're very concerned with their children and everything. And my supervisor had asked for something to
Saying it's closed.
Yes, sir.
And they need it closed, terminated.
Yes, sir.
This non.
They've been working with me since December 1st. They're the reason why I was able to pay the probation.
How much time does he have left?
96 days.
Okay. All right. Mr. Boyd, I'm going to take this under advisement. I hear what you're saying, and I want to put some time into thinking about my different options. Because the short answer is that I don't normally grant it, but I'm not saying I will, but I'm saying let me think about it a little bit. Because if I have to rule from the bench, my answer is no, but I kind of see where you're coming from on this. But, you know, my default answer to this is usually, you know, you made the terms, finish them up. And I may say that, but I'm just saying, let me think about it. So it's not a no. How about that?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's the best you get out of me on this one. Mr. Shepard, do you want to speak on that?
Judge, we'll just defer your judgment on that. I'm not 100% familiar with this case, so.
Yeah, obviously it's a pretrial diversion it's a disorderly conduct pretrial diversion with a stay away from the nursing home. So, okay, Mr. Boyd, what's his next report date?
He's in
Oh, that's your
non-report.
non-report, so. All right, do we have good contact information for you with Director Matthews' team?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you'll get your answer via email next couple of days. It won't take me long to make my decision.
Yes, sir.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, y'all need anything else?
Judge, I believe that's all, folks. Marty, you need me on anything?
All right, so we're gonna jump in and run through y'all's cases. Again, y'all's cases move very fast, so don't let the fact that we're here panic you or scare you in any way. Here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna call you up as we move down the calendar. As I call you up and place you under oath, I'm going to ask you if you understand why we're here, ask you if you understand that you have the right to have an attorney, and if you say yes and you're ready to go, I'll give the floor to Director Matthews. She will do two things. She will read out the allegations at the top, and then she will tell you the state's recommendation as to how they're recommending to me to respond to the case. And I've reviewed all of those recommendations. If you say, yes, I admit to the allegations, and yes, that recommendation is acceptable, I will very likely make that the order of the court. If you say no, then we'll stop and dig in and figure out what's going on. Okay, so let's start with.
Can I approach y'all?
Oh, yes. All right, first one is Camp Gomez. This one's both a show cause and a revocation. All right, please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down, say your full name for me.
Cameron Camp Gomez.
All right, Mr. Camp Gomez, you're here today on 21 TK 2117 because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with me alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
A little bit, yeah.
All right. So you also have what's called a show cause hearing, which is for me to decide whether to terminate your probation or continue it. And we're going to do both of these in the same case.
Okay.
Because it's kind of the same questions. So, all right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Judge, on 21 TK 2117, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 4 of 10 scheduled appointments. The recommendation on this case is to report as directed in person, payments of $52 bi-weekly, 0 tolerance for 90 days. His next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
Okay, so 2 questions. Do you admit to the violations?
I didn't know I was supposed to report to her in person.
Okay.
So I didn't know about that.
All right, so I'm going to call that a denial. So Director Matthews, take a moment, look at your file, and then please provide me testimony about his scheduling. And I'm going to then I'm going to remove the recommendation from the table, and I will make my own decision as to what's going to happen to his case.
Do I stay right here?
Yeah, just hold still. She is pulling the file because you denied. You said you didn't know, which is a denial. And so she's now pulling her file so that she can testify to it. And so that I can make an independent decision as to whether or not you violated your probation. So that's what she's doing. So give her just a minute. Yeah, I mean, frankly, your denial, you caught both of us off guard. So give us just a minute to pull
Well,
that.
Judge, it's a 3-year case, so there's 841 days of notes, and so that's what's
Sure.
slowing me down.
Yeah, no, I caught that. I'm saying you're looking at 36 months. Wow, you spent that much time on me on a terminate upon completion case? Is that correct?
I guess.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put it up on the wall while she's doing that.
I'm ready, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so his alleged missed appointments are September 12th, 2023, that would have been online. September 26th, 2023, that was online. December 15th of 2023, that was online. January 4th, 2024, that was actually his tolling date. He was mailed a letter in the mail to report then. He was advised on all of his online missed appointments to report with the specific dates via email. He was emailed on August 21st to report on September 12th. He He was emailed on September 19th to report on September 26th. He was emailed on November 22nd to report online by December the 15th. And again, a letter mailed to report in person on January the 4th.
And what, does it show the email address that y'all sent to? Is that handy?
Would be campcam30@gmail.com.
Okay. All right, anything else you want to tell me?
There was a phone call around the date of September 26th where he states that he thought making his payments counted as reporting, and he was informed that those two things are separate occurrences, that he needs to report online and make his payment.
And what date was that notification?
Double check that phone call. September 29th.
Okay, thanks. All right, anything else?
Not at this time, Judge.
Do you want to ask her any questions?
No.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses to call or evidence to present?
No, sir.
All right, you rest.
Yes, sir.
All right, the state's rested, which means that you may now present evidence if you wish. If you choose to remain silent, I will not hold that the silence against you. Do you wish to testify or remain silent?
Well, I don't want to stay silent, but I didn't know I didn't even get
Hold on, I asked you a question.
Okay, then.
Do you want to testify or not? It's an either or. You have to tell me what you want to do, and then I'm going to tell you what we do next. Do you want to testify or not?
I'll stay silent.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to say that after talking through with the defendant and notifying him of his rights, he's elected to remain silent. That silence will not be held against you. Okay. Do you have any witnesses to call?
For what?
For your defense. I'm required to ask these questions. These are required questions as we go. So, do you have any witnesses to call?
No.
Okay. Do you have any other evidence to present to me before I make my decision?
No.
Okay. So, all right, anything else? Well, he didn't present evidence, so there's no rebuttal. All right, the evidence, as I have just heard it, is that Director Matthews testified that on September 12th, 26th, 15th of December, and January 4th, the defendant failed to successfully e-report on his case. She testified that there was actual contact with the defendant on September 29th, where he was notified that the payments made online were not reporting, that those were two different events. And that was, and then two more e-reports were missed. That's the only allegation on the table. I'm going to find that the defendant denied those allegations, stating prior to the start of the evidentiary portion of the hearing that he was unaware of that information. And I am going to take that into consideration. All right, that's my decision. So having denied it and had an evidentiary hearing, I'm going to make the decision on my own as to what the court's response will be. May I please have the order? All right, so for starters, you're out of compliance with your probation, and therefore the show cause is denied. You shall continue on probation until your case is closed. What was the recommendation again?
To report to probation as directed, payments of $52 biweekly, zero tolerance for 90 days. His next report date would be on February 14th between 1 and 5.
All right, having taken into account the defendant's denial of the allegations, as well as the court's inclinations on cases such as this, I am going to find that he has been on probation on this case for 841 days. I'm going to find that it's a terminate upon completion, which meant he could have closed it the day after his plea. So I'm going to put this in a closure mode, and it's going to be very uncomfortable for you, Mr. Camp Gomez. So you're either going to close it, or I'm going to issue a warrant, and I'm going to just have you spend the rest of it in the jail. So do you understand that that's what we're about to do?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. I'm going to put that I found by preponderance the evidence that you violated your probation. I have 254 days remaining. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
I'm ordering you to serve 180 days in the Spalding County Jail. I'm going to delay that start by 74 days. So you can either get your case closed in the next 74 days, or you can report to the Spalding County Jail in 74 days. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You're to report in person every single week until your case is closed. You are on zero tolerance until your case is closed. You will report starting February 14th and every week thereafter in person until your case is closed. You have the right to convert your fine to community service work if you wish. You may apply to have your fines waived. But either way, that's the order of the court. Do you understand the decision that I've made?
Yes.
Do you understand the difference between what I just did and what the recommendation was?
Yes.
Okay. Step out in the hallway, sign your paperwork. Bailiffs will give you a copy. Now go that way. Ever since that chucklehead jumped over the bench in Vegas, they don't want me to let folks go this way. All right. Well, next case. Next, what do you do?
Cortavious Carter.
All right, please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your name. State your full name for me.
Sir.
State your full name.
Cortavious Carter.
I was talking fast, Mr. Carter. That's on me. Mr. Carter, you're here today on 23 TK 1668 because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with me alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir. I'm going to represent myself.
All right, you ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, floor's yours.
Judge, on 23 TK 1668, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant's failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 4 of 6 scheduled appointments. The defendant's failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $122 as of the date the petition was drafted. Judge, for the record, this was a 15-day case. The recommendation on this case is for him to report to probation as directed, payments of $90 weekly, zero tolerance for the duration of active probation. He would be reporting in person until his case closes. His next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
Okay, 2 questions. Number 1, do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir.
And is that recommendation acceptable?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think it's a good recommendation. You're not that far from closing your
Can I
case.
ask you a question?
Sure.
Can you go and give me the full total that I have to pay for that?
I do not have that, but they will give that to you. I don't think you can do that from the bench, you can.
I actually didn't even pull his case.
Yeah,
out.
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
So they'll give that to you on the 14th, or you can actually go by there. You can go by there and ask. And
I can go by there like today or tomorrow. They'll be
yeah,
good.
yes, you certainly can. So,
They
and
go
they'll
to
give you.
lunch in 4 minutes, so you
Yeah, I gotta get back to work, so that's why I'm saying it'll be this afternoon.
Yeah, you'll be great. So, and like I said, they'll give you that number. So I just don't have it.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else?
No.
Okay, if you'll step out into the hallway, don't go that way. The guy jumping over the bench in Vegas story. And wait, don't leave until the bailiffs come see you.
Octavius Dewberry.
Thanks. All right, Mr. Dewberry, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Octavius Dewberry.
Mr. Dewberry, you're here today because you're on probation with the Spalding County State Court on 22 SR 2197, and your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with me alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Represent myself.
All right, and you ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, floor's yours.
Judge, on 22 SR 2197, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant has failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $559. The defendants failed to complete community service hours as directed, having turned in 17 hours and 30 minutes of the court-ordered 40 hours. The recommendation on this case is to report to probation in person as directed, payments of $166 biweekly, community service at 8 hours per week, zero tolerance for 120 days. DUI school would be due by April 1st of 2024. The next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
All right, 2 questions. Number 1, do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir.
And is that recommendation acceptable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I also agree with the recommendation. I think it is the appropriate recommendation. I think it resets your clock and gives you more time to get your case back on track. Because again, I don't want to revoke you. I just want to help you. We just want to give you the room you need to get it closed. Put me in your rearview mirror, so to speak. Okay? All right, any questions? All right, if you'll step out into the hallway, wait for the bailiffs. They're going to have you sign your order, and they will give you a copy.
Belinda Finley.
All right, and Ms. Finley, if you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, take your hand down, say your full name for me.
Belinda LaPointe family.
All right, and Ms. Finley, feel free to move that mic around wherever you want. It's for shorter folks like us and taller folks like some others. So it moves, yep, perfect. All right, so do you understand that you're here today because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with the court alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation?
Yes, sir.
And you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
Floor is yours.
Judge, on 22 SR 0978, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendants failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered, or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $352. The defendants failed to complete the community service hours as directed, having turned in 0 out of 20 court-ordered hours. The recommendation on this case is to report to probation in person as directed, payments of $93 biweekly, community service at 8 hours a week, zero tolerance for 120 days. Her next report date will be in person on February the 14th between 1 and 5. And then just a reminder that the deadline for the restitution receipt turned into the clerk's office is April the 23rd.
Okay. Ms. Finley, do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir, I do.
And is that recommendation accepted?
It's gonna be hard to comply with due to the situation.
Okay. What part of it is going to be difficult for you?
Even reporting, and I have stated to her the situation.
Okay. So here's whatever it is they need to give to you, or for you to give to them. Have that conversation again and make certain that they have all the documentation that they need to explore that.
Okay.
And they're good at working with people, so if they can figure out a way to work with you, they will. But y'all talk about that in your next meeting. I'm going to go with the recommendation today. But as far as if you have something that can legitimately move this case around, make certain that you've talked that through fully and given them everything they need to do that.
Okay.
All right, so just circle back to that on the 14th.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I may have trouble getting to see her on the 14th.
Okay. Is there another day that's better for you to go sit down and have this conversation?
I really don't know.
Okay. Well, listen, I want you to go on the 14th.
Okay.
Because that's the chance for y'all to sit down eyeball to eyeball and explore options.
Okay.
And if they come up with an option that changes this, they can ask me to change it and I can change it. Without a hearing, I can make it to what I want. But I don't see any reason today to change from that. But it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to consider something y'all worked out.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
And as I've said earlier, and I meant to say to the last couple folks, if you do go to sentence enforcement, whatever you do, park in the Janet Bragg parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Because
Understand.
I'm going straight to warrants now. So,
Yes, understand.
all right, thank you very much. You may step out in the hall.
All right, thank you. Am I free to go or do I need to?
As
stop?
soon as the bailiffs talk to you, then you'll be free.
Okay,
You'll be out of here momentarily.
all right, thank you.
Trevante Goggins.
All right, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, say your full name for me.
Trevante God.
All right, and Mr. Goggins, if you'll just make certain to keep your mask on, it's fine, but just lean into the mic.
All right.
All right, and then you and I'll be fine. So, do you understand you're here today because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with the court alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation? Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
And you ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, floor's yours.
Judge, on 18 SR 1269, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant's failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 3 of 6 scheduled appointments. The defendant's failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $640. Judge, I discussed this case with Mr. Shepard before he left today. We have this case. We also have an inactive case of 19 SR 0383. Both of these cases were ordered as 12-month non-report options. Mr. Goggins, we're familiar with him on probation. He has chosen to leave the Griffin area. He now lives in Tifton, Georgia. And so I've asked Mr. Shepard if he'd be willing to banish Mr. Goggins for the remaining 79 days on this case and the 365 days on the consecutive case. Allow him to be in non-report, suspend all fines and fees. And if he successfully stays out of Spalding County for the next year and 79 days, that we close both cases. And Mr. Goggins has agreed to that.
Yeah, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I realized that's where she was going as soon as she said that. So, because that's a win-win for both sides. So,
Yes, sir.
oh, that's a great idea. I'm in. So, I'll sign that.
All
So,
right.
because that'll let you go live your life in Tifton. It'll let the state feel like they've got what they need, which is to make certain that you're not here causing trouble, which is okay. And then, yeah, this is great. So, do you need him to report with you any other? We just go straight to non-report. Hey, that's great news. So when you walk out of here, you go straight to non-report. Just in Spalding, don't turn around.
All right.
All right. Now, but listen, when we're finished with probation, then you can come back, but not until then. So get a calculator out, count your days.
That.
So, all right. Thank you very much. If you will, please wait out in the hallway until the bailiffs come see you. That's a great solution.
Marciano Maldonado.
All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Marciano Maldonado.
And Mr. Maldonado, you're here on 20 SR 1302 because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with the court alleging that you're out of compliance. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Judge, on 20 SR 1302, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant's failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 4 of 11 scheduled appointments. The defendant's failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered or request a waiver, being in arrears $480. Allegation C, Mr. Maldonado has corrected, and we're removing that from his petition today. The recommendation on this case is for him to report weekly until his case closes, payments of $100 weekly, to convert the remaining court fine to 54 hours of community service, to be completed at a rate of 20 hours per week. Zero tolerance for the duration of active probation. His next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
All right, 2 questions. Do you admit to the remaining violations A and B?
Yes, sir.
And is that recommendation acceptable?
I'm trying to see if, it's all about the payment.
Yes.
I'm trying to see if she can extend it for every 2 weeks.
As far as the payments go?
Yes, I already brought, $480. Trying to see if I can report every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's just report as directed until you bring it.
Judge, this case only has 46 days.
Yeah, that's a no. Just get your, it's a terminate.
It's a no early termination, that's interest.
Yeah.
We're just out of time.
We're just out of time. I do not have enough time to do that. I'm sorry. If I had more time, the answer would be yes. And frankly, they would have recommended it. But there's just so little time left on your case. But go and get your case totally back on track and have that conversation with them. You know, this sentence gives them the ability to move things around a little bit. So I think you need to fix this mess and then ask again. So,
Thank you.
yeah, go get this thing completely and utterly finished and then ask again. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. If you'll wait out in the hallway. Seemed like a very safe thing to tell. Okay, we'll try next case.
Richard Parajon.
All right, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Richard Parahan.
Mr. Parahan, you're here on 22 SR 1060 because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with the clerk alleging that you are out of compliance with your probation. You understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
Floor's yours.
Judge, on 22 SR 1060, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 2 of 7 scheduled appointments. The defendant failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered, or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $654, having never made a payment. The recommendation of this case, Judge, I spoke with the solicitor, Mr. Patrick, and I've already spoke to Mr. Parahan, and the state is willing to banish Mr. Parahan for the remaining 133 days from Spalding County. So we would ask to place this case in non-report, suspend all fines and fees, banish him until his case terminates.
Is that acceptable?
Yes, sir.
That's a yes for me. So let's make it so. Okay, wherever you go, live peacefully at whatever community you're going to live at, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may step out into the hallway. Don't leave till the bailiffs come see you. All right, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, state your full name for me.
Jalen Peavy.
Mr. Peavy, you were here today on 22 SR 0885 because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with the court alleging that you are out of compliance with your probation. You understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's yours?
Judge, on 22 SR 0885, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendants failed to pay the court fees as ordered or request a waiver, having never made a payment as of the date the petition was drafted. The defendant failed to complete community service hours as directed, having turned in 9 of 59 conversion hours. The recommendation on this case is to report to probation weekly until his case closes in person, payments of $56 a week, community service at 10 hours a week, 0 tolerance for the duration of active probation. His next report date would be in person, February 14th, between the hours of 1 and 5.
All right, 2 questions. Number 1, do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir.
And is that recommendation acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I agree. I think it's a good recommendation. It gives you a pathway to get your case closed, which is what both of us want you to do. You are a terminated upon completion case, so go knock this out and put me in your rearview mirror, okay? I just want to see you around town. I want you to tell me how great you're doing. I want to see you back in here, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, will you do that for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, if you step out into the hallway, wait for the bailiffs, please.
Shaquandra Taylor.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. All right, if you please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
State your full name for me.
Shaquandra Taylor.
And Ms. Taylor, nope, there we go. Show you're on time for court. Okay, you're here today on 22 TK 5394 because your sentence enforcement supervisor has filed paperwork with the court alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
You ready to go forward?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Judge, on 22 TK 5394, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 4 of 10 scheduled appointments. The defendants failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $405 as of the date the petition was drafted. The recommendation on this case is for it to report in person weekly until the case closes, payments of $81 a week, to convert the fine to 23 hours of community service, to be completed at a rate of 8 hours per week, 0 tolerance for the duration of active probation. The next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
Okay, 2 questions. Number 1, do you admit to the violations?
Yes.
And is that recommendation acceptable?
No.
Okay. What is it that you want that is different than what was just stated?
I cannot do community service, and that's the reason why I missed 4 out of 10 of the dates. So putting me for community service, I'm just being realistic. I cannot do it, and reporting once a week, it's just, I can't. I would rather try and pay. I just started, I wrote the letter, I start my new job February 19th, and I just rather pay the whole thing off, but reporting like every week, and I have a newborn as well, it's just too much. And then I work 12-hour shifts, 8 to 7 p. So I'm just being honest. And then with 405,
So I'm gonna gently but firmly push back just a little bit here, because I need, just so we can have a real conversation about this. So you are 309 days into a terminate upon completion case that had 30 days before that, 15 days before that, to try to close before it even started. So help me understand why this moment is different than those previous, you see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
I don't want to set you up for failure, but at the same time, I can't just terminate your probation.
Okay.
I need you to do what you're supposed to do, and if you can't report and can't pay, that backs me into a corner, and we both know what my option's gonna be at that point. And I don't want that, and you don't want that.
Okay, well, during that probation, I think when I started, when did I start?
Well, it's 309 days ago plus 15 days, so I don't have that in front of me.
April 5th of 2020.
Okay, April 5th of 2023. Okay, so I started it, I was still pregnant at the time when I started it, and in that time I had a baby, I was on maternity leave, then I started back work. The schedule wasn't great with a newborn, and I just kind of been in between, like picking up jobs like here and there. But finally, I have childcare and I have a job that I'm starting permanently for February 19th with benefits and everything now. So I was kind of like just running around then for like the duration from when I had the baby May 10. I just, wasn't working. I was on maternity at that time. So that was a lot of the issues. And then when I report, I can't bring the baby with me.
No.
Yeah, so.
Judge, our option, we have one option, a community service opportunity that would not require physically going and completing community service. So if she chose to take that option, that would still somewhat satisfy the complication that she's presenting today. When we had her reporting less frequently, she still missed 4 appointments during that time frame. By your standards, you wanted this case closed 4 days ago. So the likelihood that we're going to successfully close this case at this point, Judge, seems very unlikely. So I would request that she report weekly. I can give her that option on the community service in office.
Yeah, and that's why I started out by saying I got to gently push back on that because we only have 60 days left, and the case has been available to you to close this entire time. So you just need to put your best efforts into it and get it closed. So that's.
And it'll be closed once I fulfill the payment. But I know it's more than 4 or 5 now because I made contact. It's like 552, I want to say. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and don't forget, obviously, you can work off a little bit of it with community service work and pay the rest. So like it's not a switch, it's a scale. So you just figure out what works for you. But I do need you to buckle down and get this finished.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna follow the recommendation. So if you will step out into the hallway and wait for the bailiffs out in the hallway.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck to you.
Tolan.
Tell me how to pronounce your first name.
Sukimiko.
Sukimiko. All right, names are important, and I'm the worst one at messing them up, and I always say I'm sorry. Names are very important. All right, Sukimiko Tolan, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, state your full name for me.
Sukimiko Tolan.
All right, and you're here today on 23 SR 0785 because your sentence enforcement officer has filed paperwork with the clerk alleging that you are out of compliance with your terms. You understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
Floor is yours.
Judge, on 23 SR 0705, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant's failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered, or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $361. The defendant's failed to complete community service hours as directed, having turned in 0 of 20 court-ordered hours. The recommendation on this case is for her to report to probation in person as directed, payments of $102 bi-weekly, community service at 8 hours a week, 0 tolerance for 120 days. The next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
All right, 2 questions. Number 1, do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir.
And is that recommendation accepted?
No.
Okay. What is it that you want that is different than this case, than what's recommended?
I do have proof of community service. I didn't have the paper at the time.
Okay.
I do have the paper to show, and I also have the 361. And as far as doing community service, I also have paper of I had a preemie at 23 weeks. So I would have to go, back and forth to Columbus. He recently just came home January 21st.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And as far as doing community service, I had to care for him. And I'm not going to be able to really do that.
Okay.
If I can't take him with me.
So I mean, I'm hearing what you're offering, what you're saying you have.
Mhm.
I'm hearing it line up with what's,
Yeah, I'm not asking for you to do additional community service, it's just the 20 court order that the court gave you.
That's why I finna say I only have 15, like 15 and a half that I did. And the 15 and a half that I did was, you know, in time of him being in the hospital. And after that, that's when I stayed in Columbus at the Ronald McDonald House to be with him.
yes.
So I couldn't do the, you know, 4 and a half.
Well, and just hear me say, what you're asking me for
Yes, sir.
and what she's saying the state's offering,
Yes, sir.
they line up to me.
Yes, sir.
They give you what you both need here.
Okay.
And I think when you have a more detailed conversation with them about it, what you're saying you're gonna give them and what they're saying they need are the same things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna follow the recommendation, and I think when you sit down and talk to them, you'll realize that these things line up together for you.
Yes, sir.
So, so I'm gonna follow the recommendation. I'm glad your baby is okay at home. As a fellow parent, I just want you to know that we're praying for you and hope everything turns out all right.
All right.
Any other questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, so just follow through in what you say you got, and you should be just fine here.
Okay.
Bring that documentation when you come and report, because I know you didn't have it the last time you and I spoke.
About your baby?
Okay.
Is that
And
right?
I'm finna say, as far as paying, you want me to just wait till February 14th to
Yes,
pay? Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want to bring it by the office when we open at 1, I'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
I was gonna jump to Joe, who was the one that wrote the bottom first. Joe Pope.
I think you showed up later.
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, state your full name for me.
Joe Pope.
Joe Pope, why were you late to court today?
This morning I'm trying to get my kids together. My father left and had a little incident, so I had to change their clothes again before I left.
Okay.
Pushed him back.
All right, Mr. Pope, you're here today on 22 TK 3119 because your sentence enforcement supervisors filed paperwork with me alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation. You understand that's the question on the table for me to answer? You understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do? All right. You go ahead.
Judge, on 22 TK 3119, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 4 of 7 scheduled appointments. The defendant failed to pay the court fine and fees as ordered, or utilize community service work in lieu of the court fine, being in arrears $123. The recommendation on this case is to report to probation as directed in person, payments of $120 bi-weekly, 0 tolerance for the duration of active probation, to add 8 hours of community service for being late to court today. The next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
Okay. 2 questions. Number 1, do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir.
And is that recommendation acceptable?
No, sir.
All right, what's wrong with it?
Okay, I just recently getting a divorce, separated right now.
Very sorry to hear that.
Please don't be sorry. I said, please don't be sorry.
Okay.
My kids, they live in South Carolina. I drive there. I try to drive there as much as I can to get them. I'm just not recently getting my children. I have a bitter kid's mother. She wants me to stay with her even though she wants to cheat, do whatever she wants, and that's not how it's gonna operate. So in me leaving, she wants to take the kids away from me, and I don't have a chance to get my kids as much. I used to get them every other week, but now it's to the point where I'm, seeking legal action if I can get my children. So me doing community service will push, like when I had the chance to go get them, like I just recently just got them yesterday. So it's kind of hard for me to try to do community service. The last time I had when I went up to the probation office and I paid what I owed for what my mom had showed me, I asked the probation officer, could she please contact my mother, because I think she was needing permission from me to call my mom. I know that that's not how I operate, I don't think, but I was just asking she reached her and let me know when I need to come to report, because it was just so much of me trying to transition from South Carolina to Georgia. And I'm just recently moving down here, so it was just kind of hard for me to do all that all together.
Well, I'm only hearing that there's community service work for being late. I didn't, yeah, so,
That's just the standard,
yeah.
from the court typically.
All right, I understand what you're saying.
If I could, I'd just pay it all, if I could.
That's fine. So, all right, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, let's step out in the hallway.
Okay.
Don't leave them desk and talk.
Okay.
And then our phone guy, with the green chair. Yeah. I know. It's other than me adding 8 hours, he was accepted as well as
He should have done more.
well, I mean, we'll either do it or not.
He's not going to.
Yeah. And that way.
He's really nice and I talked to his mom.
All right. Mr. Taylor, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I agree to tell you the truth.
I think that's fair enough. You can take your hand down. State your full name for me.
My given name is Sheriff Marquez Taylor.
And your other name?
The only name I go by.
Oh, okay. And Ms. Taylor, you understand that you're here today because you're a supervising officer at Sentence Enforcement on 21 SR 2244 has filed paperwork with the clerk alleging that you are out of compliance with your probation. You understand that's the question on the table for me to answer today?
I do understand that question.
All right. And you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to?
I couldn't afford to provide an attorney because they wanted $2,500 for this probation hearing, and I don't make in a week.
What about the public defender's office? Did you go apply?
I didn't go apply to them because I didn't know about this until a week before. I informed my probation officer of the tickets that I received the day that they had.
Do you have any questions?
He answered my question in reference to the attorney. I was needing to clarify that because they had reached out.
Okay.
And I don't trust the public defender's office because they didn't represent me properly last time I asked them to represent me.
Well, I mean, you're backing me into a corner here. You're saying you want an attorney. You're saying you can't afford an attorney, and you're saying you don't want a public
I'm saying I would
defender's
like
office.
the time to be able to provide one.
I'm sorry?
I was saying that I would like the time to be able to afford to provide one. I do work for a living. I don't know what I'm not in compliance with the probation terms for.
The terms are that they're saying you're out of, which again is the question on the table, is that you're behind on your fines and fees, $223.50, and you've not used community service work or applied for a waiver. And then the second one is that you've not provided proof that you're enrolled in the Family Violence Intervention Program.
I do have proof that I've enrolled in the Family Violence Intervention Program.
All right, and that you caught new charges. And that you caught new charges on January 3rd, 2024 in Peachtree City of suspended license and possession of marijuana.
Yeah, suspended license was taken care of that night due to a reinstatement fee. It was suspended for child support. And the marijuana, it's medication to me.
How much time do I have left?
520 days as of today. He also has 2 consecutive cases, 21 SR 2245, that's a 24-month case, no early termination. 21 SR 2246, that's a 12-month non-report.
Why'd your phone go off in court today?
Because that is normally the time I get up from my lunch break to go back to work.
Okay. But that means you didn't turn your phone off when court started?
I put it on Do Not Disturb. I didn't know that alarms go off when you have your phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't use my phone all the time.
Oh, I'm trying to look this case up. It's not even with us. It's in Fayette County. Okay. I think you are probably, knowing Fayette like I do, I think you are probably mistaken in thinking that your charges are dismissed.
I didn't think that they were dismissed.
Well, I just asked you.
I haven't had a chance to address them with that county. It has nothing to do with Spalding County at all. I didn't think I need to address Fayette County and Spalding County in the same courtroom.
Okay. Well, you are mistaken.
I didn't know. I just didn't know that. I'm not used to being in trouble in my life.
I am making you aware of it.
Thank you.
That I am taking a very keen interest in what is going on in Peachtree City. And I'm wondering why you're not here in handcuffs, because you have new charges. And I'm thinking that you need a warrant. So, all right, let's do this. Oh, I got a solution. I'm removing 3. We're just gonna go forward on the technicals. All right, I'm removing 3 from your consideration, which is the new charges, and moving forward on the technicals. I'm gonna find that since I'm only moving forward on technicals, you do not qualify for an attorney. You will be representing yourself. So we are about to address the being behind on fines and fees.
What that means.
Please don't interrupt me. I'm going to address the fines and fees, which is the arrearage of $223.50. And then I'm going to address whether or not you are properly enrolled in the Family Violence Intervention Program, and that's what I'm about to do. So you interrupted me to ask me to tell you the thing that I was right in the middle of telling you.
I still didn't understand what you were explaining.
The number 1 is that they're alleging that you're behind on your fines and fees and did not use community service work or waiver to get it fixed.
I didn't know I had those options.
And number 2 is whether or not you are properly enrolled in the Family Violence Intervention Program or not, and whether or not you've provided proof or not.
I enrolled in that immediately after I found out I needed to. And I do have proof of that if you want to see it on my phone. I don't have any printed out records of that, but I do have a record of a class that I just went to Monday, and I do have a record of paying that person to start that class.
Okay.
And I do have a record of a letter of enrollment that they said they sent over to the probation office.
Okay, so here's part of our problem. Every time I open my mouth so far, you've interrupted me to say what you want to say.
I apologize.
So, well, see, you just did it again. Like right in the middle of me trying to talk to you about not interrupting me, you interrupted me to tell me that you're sorry about interrupting me. So I think we should stop that part and just stop talking over each other. And I'll tell you why. A, it's frustrating to both of us. B, Miss Kathy Leach is sitting right there trying desperately to make a great record to protect you, not me. So that if we ever have to review this, we can figure out what happened. And you and I talking over each other makes for a disgusting, confusing, unreadable transcript. So here's the deal. You step up to the mic, you tell me everything you need to tell me, and then you stop talking, and then I'll talk. Fair enough? Floor is yours.
What would you like to know?
Okay, then we're good. I'm going to pivot to Director Matthews then, and I'm going to let her testify on those 2 issues. And then you'll have an opportunity to ask her any questions you may have.
All right, Judge, on this case, he was sentenced to probation on September 6th of 2023. He should have made 5 monthly payments of $124. He's made a payment in September of $122. And he's made a payment in October of $297. That's all the payments that have been received on this case. So that leads to the arrearage that is mentioned in the petition as of January the 23rd of 2024. In reference to the Family Violence Intervention Program, on his court dispositions, he was given, I believe it was 90 days from sentencing to enroll in the family violence. That deadline was November the 5th. As of the date that I drafted this petition, he had not enrolled into that course. He did call the office and advise of the new charges in January. Due to him advising us, Judge, that's why I did not seek a warrant in this case, and I scheduled the hearing for him to walk in instead. Once I attempted to advise Mr. Taylor of the family violence condition. Some of what you're seeing today is exactly how I encountered Mr. Taylor's as well, and he became very, I would consider irate in emails discussing the case that he was treated poorly. These, he didn't plead guilty to these charges. He was given these charges. He had a lot of concerns with his plea and his sentencing, and I told him that, I understand that and I hear him, and that I would set him a court date so he could come and discuss all of the concerns that he has with his 3 cases with the court.
Okay. All right, anything else you want me to know?
Not at this time.
So as of January 23rd of 2024, he had not provided you with family violence intervention proof of it?
That's correct.
Has he provided it to you since then?
Yes.
Okay. And then as of the arrearage, as of January 23rd, he was behind $223.50 and had not requested waiver or community service work?
That is correct.
And has he corrected that at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. And the deadline for the family violence intervention program was November what?
5th.
Okay. That's all I need. All right. Do you have any questions that you want to ask her?
Yes.
Okay.
You
can ask her questions.
How many days was I supposed to be given to enroll in the family violence class?
$60 is what's on the.
Okay, I heard 90.
I said I believe.
Okay, I heard 90. That's what I heard 90. And on the paperwork that I was given when I was released, it didn't have a check mark on any of the carbon copies that I received, which means somebody may not have pressed down hard enough for me to know that I was supposed to go to a family violence class. Immediately after I saw the email that she sent me, I sent her an email and changed my mind about the way that I responded to her, because I was responding to a lack of information, because I was assuming that this is a professional entity. This is what you guys do professionally. I have a regular job that I normally do. If I can't be an electrician because my dues ain't paid up, I normally go work a temp job or a regular job out of a warehouse or anywhere else with anybody else. I don't try to do stuff on the wrong side of the law. Just prefer to live life and take care of my children. That's all I've been trying to do. It's frustrating when the events that led to me even being in this courtroom were resolved amongst family a long time ago. They were just resolved. I didn't have to deal with the court at all to resolve them. And yet I'm still dealing with the court. So it's very frustrating, because I understand that society says there's punishment for actions. Okay, I'm cool with it. I don't mind being punished for things that I've done wrong. But I didn't even get a chance to admit guilt or non-guilt.
Wait, you didn't get a chance to do
No,
what?
because I pled guilty because it was in my best interest. That's what an Alfred plea is. It was in my best interest for me to get out of jail at that time, because I had been sitting there almost a whole year for stuff that I know that I wasn't guilty of. So I pled guilty to it, knowing the consequences and not caring about the consequences, because I'd rather have my freedom.
Okay. For record purposes, I'm going to state that what I asked you was whether or not you had any questions for Director Matthews. You made a statement, so I'm going to take that statement as testimony.
The only question I really had from the beginning,
and I just want to point out
I
that
asked
you
at
cut
the
me off
beginning
again
was,
right in the middle of my
was
sentence.
I given?
I just want to
90
point out again that you cut me off right in the middle of my sentence. And now you're mumbling under your mouth, and I am feeling very much like a contempt citation is the right resolution here. So I've already said to you to stop interrupting me. I was right in the middle of my sentence, and here's how this is going to work, Mr. Taylor. The next time you interrupt me, you're going to jail. Do you understand how serious I am about the decorum we are going to use in this courtroom? Yes or no? Do you understand?
I like to exercise my right to remain silent.
Excellent. That sounds just fine. All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right, he's not presenting any other evidence because he's remaining silent. You've already presented your evidence, so the evidence is closed. I'm finding that the evidence in this case is that Mr. Taylor did enter a best interest plea, which meant he was allowed to close his case without taking personal responsibility for the underlying facts of the case. That was acceptable at the time, and it remains to be acceptable, but as I have often said, I do factor that into my consideration as to whether someone admitted to it at the time of the plea, and here we are now. I removed the new charges from consideration. That doesn't mean, Director Matthews, that they are gone. If you choose to bring them back at some later date, you may, but we're not considering them today. So if you choose to file a petition on these for some other time, you may. If you choose to take a warrant on these at some later time, you may. Just confirm with the solicitor's office before you do take any action on that. As to whether or not you're behind on your fines and fees and failed to take action to complete it, I find by preponderance of the evidence that you are behind on your fines and fees and that you have failed to take action to either waive it with use community service work to work it off or request appropriate waiver. I find that your deadline to enroll in the Family Violence Intervention Program and provide proof was November 5th of 2023, that as of January 23rd, 2024, you had not provided that proof, and I understand that you have solved it now, but it shouldn't take a hearing to get you to do what you're supposed to be doing. So if you will pass up to me the order, I will fill it out myself. I have consecutive cases here, don't I?
Yes, sir. 2 consecutive cases for 36 total months.
Great. All right, I'm going to find that having this original case be an offered plea where you did not take responsibility for the case and having not taken responsibility again here today, it is time for me to step in and force responsibility upon you. You shall report as directed. You shall report in person for the duration of active probation. You will be on zero tolerance for the duration of active probation on this case. Your next report will be February 14th, 2024, between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. You shall continue to be enrolled in the Family Violence Intervention Program, and you will attend weekly without interruption. If you miss any family violence classes, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. So that means that he's on zero tolerance for 155 days. He's going to report in person for 155 days.
Judge, he's served 155, he has 520 days remaining.
On this case?
It's a 24-month case.
I thought the other cases were consecutive ones. Okay, well then I'm not going to do the remainder of active probation then. I'm going to do 180 days.
Yes, sir.
So you're on zero tolerance for 180 days. You're going to report in person for 180 days.
Judge, I'm sorry. Can I request zero tolerance for 240 just because the family violence takes 180 to complete?
Yes, that's what I was trying to do.
Yes.
So, okay, you figured out what I was trying to do. 240 will get him to the end of the family violence. Okay, 240 then. And then you're going to report in person for 240. 240 and 240. Anything else, Director Matthews, that I need to address?
I didn't know if you wanted to add a substance abuse evaluation due to the new charge of possession of marijuana.
I do. There it is. No, I'll give him 60 days on that. 60 days to get that completed. And license reinstatement. Have you already gotten your license back?
I had it back the same night that I was charged with having a suspended license. It was only a reinstatement fee that I didn't know I needed to pay.
Great. So we show them your valid license on February 14th. That's your report date on 2024. Okay. All right. That's since court. I have made this decision, and and by the way, your phone ringing in the courtroom has been factored into this, so that's taken care of as well. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. If you'll step out in the hallway, the bail will have you sign your order, and then you're free to go. That way. That way. All right, who else is here that needs addressed? Anybody else? Y'all here for community service work?
Right there, y'all.
What's your name?
Gabriel.
Still don't live in Spalding County.
What is he yelling at me about?
He said he still doesn't live in Spalding County, by the way. I don't know what his purpose was. He was telling me that.
Not gonna re-engage. So, all right, what was your name again?
Gabriel Jefferson.
Jefferson? What brings you here, Mr. Jefferson? Your name is not familiar to me.
Yeah, this is my first time being here. I got caught driving without license. So they told me to come here. I got a citation.
I don't know if you asked this morning if anybody was here, if their name hasn't called,
No.
and that may.
How old are you?
18.
Okay, you look young to me.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Are you a junior?
No, I don't go to school no more.
No, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That was a reasonable question. I was asking you if you're young, and then I asked you if you're a junior. Are you in the line of succession of kin a junior?
Oh.
Yeah.
You talking about like in my
Your
name?
family,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, I'm a junior.
Because I have two Gabriel Alexander.
Oh, okay.
And, okay, I have your case. It's 23 FA 1793. I do not have, they have not set a court date. So here's what we're gonna do. The bailiffs are gonna give you a notepad, and I want you to put all of your best contact information. So full name, address, telephone number, cell phone, email, is your social ending in 8528?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, and your birth date's 7/21/05? Okay, I don't need any of that then. We're good. So just make certain that when we get the case here and ready to be filed, we can come back. All right, so if you'll just grab a seat right there, or actually out in the hallway, the bailiffs will come out and get you to fill all that out. So, all right. Man, what do you need? Come on up.
Sharabia Hood, I'm here for a traffic ticket.
Okay, tell me your name more slowly.
Sharabia Hood.
All right, if you will spell your first name for me.
SHARABIA.
There we are. Born in 97?
Yes.
Found you. I found you, but I don't see anything currently pending. What kind of traffic ticket did you get?
Well, I didn't get any type of paper from the officer when he stopped me. I had my permit, but I didn't have a licensed driver in the car. He let me call a driver and he let me go after that, so.
Excuse me, Judge, who pulled you over?
It was like 2 years ago, I have no clue.
Was it in the city of Griffin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
That's where the problem.
I think
It's
so.
because they run their court date the same day we do on Thursday.
Yeah.
We get them in.
And I should have made that announcement. You know what? I need to start doing a PowerPoint on Thursday that just hits these couple of highlights.
Yeah.
I'm
We try
gonna
to
do
screen them as best we can at the door, but some of them get through.
I've got to just start saying that because I also need to say parking the Jack parking lot. So, okay, let's do this. You can, they're probably at lunch right now, but go over to the municipal court and tell them if you were supposed to be there today, and it's just right next door.
Okay.
Tell them that you were on time. If you were supposed to be there, you were on time here. You've been here all morning, and that we didn't catch it. That Judge Thacker didn't catch it. Say Judge Thacker said, "Sorry, I usually catch it when I first come on the bench, and I didn't catch that you were here."
No problem.
And like I said, if you end up giving you a hard time, I'll vouch for you.
Okay, thank
okay?
you. And
All
you
right,
said
and
next
so
door?
you're gonna walk out the front door, take a left, just go to the other end of the block, past the parking deck.
Okay.
You go in the first door on the left, it's on the corner. It's the first door on the left, but it's on the far corner of that white building.
Okay.
So you're just gonna walk out, take a left, go to the other end of the block, go in the door.
Okay.
Come here for a second.
Yeah,
I'm
he'll
gonna
fill you.
text Melissa and let you. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Start back at one.
Come on up. What's your name?
So spell your first name again.
SHARABIA.
Right.
Yeah, there it is.
H5 at the bottom.
Got to do
Okay, let's come back to order. I think this is the last case in the morning. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, state your full name for me.
Imani Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, you're here on 23 TK 1981. You're here today because your sentence enforcement supervisors filed paperwork with the court alleging that you're out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
Why were you late to court?
I had actually overslept. I have a 2-month-old and a 1-year-old. They was up crying all night, so my father got no sleep. I fell asleep and overslept.
Man, I remember that like it was yesterday. Okay, don't worry about that either. All right, and so you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself.
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, floor is yours.
Judge, on 23 TK 1981, the defendant is alleged to have violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following. The defendant failed to report to probation as directed, having missed 2 of 8 scheduled appointments. The defendant failed to pay the court fees as ordered or request a waiver, being in arrears $50. The defendant failed to complete community service conversion hours as directed at a rate of 6 hours per week. Recommendation on this case is to report as directed, payments of $120 bi-weekly, community service at 8 hours a week, 0 tolerance for the duration of active probation. Next report date would be in person on February 14th between the hours of 1 and 5.
All right, 2 questions. Do you admit to the violations?
Yes, sir. I have a question too.
Okay, what's your question?
Well, I'm not quite going to state my story. I have recently just gotten in an accident on the 23rd, so I've been in and out like physical therapy. I love my transportation, so really I've been having to get to the physical therapy. They've been sending buses to come get me. I did probably 6 hours of my community service already, but like I said, I've been having problems trying to get back and forth. And I recently just got released yesterday to like start back working and everything.
Okay, well, let's do this. Provide that paperwork. So when you report on the 14th, provide all that paperwork showing what's been going on in your life.
Yes,
Preferably, if you could just get a 1-page letter from your doctor saying what's been going on, that's best.
Okay.
Because we can pick through a stack of medical records, but it's not a very efficient way to tell us what's going on.
Well, in the car, I have the paper of like the release form for me to work up in the car. Is that fine too or no?
That would be a good start. So you can start with that if you want. And if they want more, they'll ask for it.
Okay.
But I hear what you're saying. I also see here that this will give you a kind of a restart to get you caught up. And so I'm going to stick with the recommendation that's here. And then I'm going to have you turn that paperwork in, and then they'll look at it and talk to you about it.
I also have a payment too if they want that.
I'm saying it again?
I also have a payment too if they need that too.
Okay. So if you want to make your payment, they're open in 4 minutes after lunch. So you can walk right down there and make your payment, I guess. Okay, perfect. All right, actually, he didn't need to go out since he's the last one. He could just sign it. Okay. All right, issue the warrants, forfeit the cash bonds. Oh, there was one more I needed to announce on page 4, Daniel Nichols.